Welcome everyone to Jaden's Jam. I'm your host Jaden Goss, and today I'm going to be talking about Werewolf by Night, the new MCU TV special on Disney Plus. TV movie, I guess you should say. I like how in the beginning, Marvel always does something interesting with the intros coming into these movies and TV shows, and it was cool seeing how this TV special opens with the Marvel Studios logo and then some werewolf scratch or some scratches through, which looks like werewolf claws, and it goes black and white. And I loved the music. Like the music was, it started out, like the Marvel Studios fanfare, but then it immediately goes into this like Universal Monsters type score, and it's just I really enjoyed the opening to this. I like how they'll change up their studio intro depending on whatever it is. It's not always the same immediately. And it helps to keep it fresh. I also liked how before the Marvel Studios logo, it said Marvel Studios special presentation, and it was like the rainbow, and I don't know. I like the intro, and I'll say this: I like that it was 50 minutes. It was a quick watch. It was, and that's funny too, because like this one special was longer than any single episode of a Disney Plus Marvel show so far. Like this is the length of like a uh House of the Dragon episode almost. I mean, House of the Dragon's a little bit longer usually, but you know what I mean. So it'd be fun if Marvel would give this kind of length to one of their shows too, not just this special. But I really enjoyed it. When it comes to the Universal monster movies, the 30s, the old ones, I enjoy them. My favorite was always the Wolfman. I went back a few years ago and I watched Dracula, I watched the Wolfman, so on and so forth. I watched all the classics, Frankenstein. I watched all the classics. My favorite was the Wolfman, and so I was actually pretty excited about this one. Werewolf by Night is one of my blind spots, though. Like Elsa Bloodstone, this part of the universe, or at least these characters, I'm not super familiar with. So I'm coming in pretty much not knowing these characters. I've heard of Werewolf by Night. One of my favorite characters is Moon Knight, and he debuted in Werewolf by Night. But that's as far as my knowledge goes with this. So this is actually a Marvel blind spot for me, and I really enjoyed it. It really was reminiscent of those Universal monster movies. I love that they went black and white. I really felt like they actually tried with this. Like this felt different from all the other MCU stuff that we get usually. And Marvel's been doing that, especially with Phase 4. I think that's why Phase 4 overall is a little mixed to casual, to everyone, to critics, to audiences. Like Phase 4 has been pretty mixed. Some people are loving it. We're back in a rebuilding phase, before we hit the multiverse saga. Well, we're in the multiverse saga, but before we get to those big Avengers movies, this is just build up. But I love that they're trying new stuff, and this is the most different thing that I've seen them do. And it really did have that horror feel. It wasn't scary, but it has that classic monsters feel. I love the fact that it's black and white pretty much the whole time until the end, and I love how at the end it bleeds into color. I like that effect. That was a cool effect that we got to see what these characters look like in full color, and you know one thing I really did enjoy was seeing Man Thing. One of the most unfortunate names for a character, but and I like how he was kind of cute. He was cute in some aspects, and then he was a badass too. I loved seeing him, like like both times when he used his powers, he like melted the Elsa's. I guess it was Elsa's mom. He melted her at the end. That was a crazy effect. I love that moment when he comes out of nowhere and he just burns that dude with the beard. Like he grabs him by the head. I thought for the most part the CGI on Man Thing looked really good, but it did. I think they were going for an older look because of the aesthetic of of this whole special. I think it worked with the special, and even when he was in full color at the end, I love the red eyes. The red eyes were like great. So that's one thing. I think this sets up, the three main character or the three characters that we'll see again: Man Thing, Werewolf, the Werewolf by what do they call him? Just Werewolf by Night, this, and Elsa Bloodstone. I think this is laying the groundwork for a possible Midnight Suns once they add in Blade and possibly Black Knight, maybe adding in Moon Knight. Uh, since they're slowly introducing all the supernatural elements to this Marvel universe, I definitely think that this is like laying groundwork for a Midnight Suns thing. And I'm sure they were just testing to see how people would react, and I've seen a lot of people like this, so I was excited to watch it. I really loved Jack Russell. He was cool. I like that, the twist, because he's got over 100 kills, and I love that you find out he's not killing these monsters. He's setting them free and just saying he killed them. Like I love when he first interacts with Man Thing, and Man Thing grabs him, and you expect, oh, it's a scare, but no, he immediately like gets excited, and they're friends. I love that, and I love that. She asks. Elsa asks Jack what his name is, or what his friend's name, what the monster's name is, and he says Ted. I love that. Instead of saying Man Thing, he says Ted. It just makes more sense. Man Thing is just it. I don't think that name works in actual movies and TV shows. But oh, and violent. This is probably the most violent we've seen the MCU get, and it gives me hope for Deadpool and Blade and these other darker characters, Punisher, who get a lot more violent just by nature, just by the fact of what they do. I loved the violence. I think they were able to do it a lot more here because, number one, there wasn't a ton of blood splatter, and it's all about how you do the blood splatter. And number two, all the action was in black and white, so the blood that we did see is black. So they're able to hide it that way. I think that's how they got away with some of the stuff. But again, this is on their own network. It's on Disney Plus. Disney owns it, so they can do whatever they want. But I was honestly shocked with the amount of violence that they just showed. They showed axes going to people's heads. They showed arms ripped off. Uh, like it. This goes hard. I will say it looked like the werewolf was CGI, and I didn't love that. I would have liked more of a practical look, but that could look super cheesy. But I think that's fine if it looks cheesy. And I'm sure there were some shots where they did make a practical costume, but for the most part, it was CGI, and I don't know. I think it worked, but I would have liked a definite more practical, but that'd be hard to do with the kind of action that he was doing. He was jumping all over the place, and yeah, I really liked the action. Michael Giacchino, I can't wait to see what he directs next, because this, he's known for his scores, which, by the way, music is amazing. I love the score of this, but it's Michael Giacchino, so I expected excellence with the score. He's one of my favorite composers working in movies and TV shows today. So, but he actually did a great job directing. this really, really, like, it's a great opening for him, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Whether it's with, some more MCU stuff, or if he goes on to do other movies that aren't superheroes. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one, guys. Like, I definitely recommend it if you're on the fence about it. I can see a lot of people not liking the fact that it is black and white, but that's just something you're gonna have to get over. I think it works for the aesthetic they were going for. You know, I love I love the fact that Ulysses Bloodstone was talking in a coffin, and it was his rotting corpse that they used as a puppet. I thought that was hilarious. And there is some really good dark humor in this, too. I think tone wise, this works really well. And I don't know, like, I can see why a lot of critics were raving about it, because it is different and it's good, and it really harkens back to those Universal monster movies, which is what they were going for. And after I'm done with this review, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go rewatch The Wolfman because it got me hyped for that. I really hope these characters come back in some way, and I hope that, something I would love to see uh, Marvel do is a show, an anthology show where each episode, it would be like a Black Mirror show, and each episode would be like 50 minutes, and you'd go to a different part of the universe, with characters like Werewolf by Night, who they're not going to give a movie to by himself. They're not going to give a whole show to him. I mean, I hope they would. It would be great, but they're not going to take that kind of chance. At least that's my opinion, though. But it'd be great to see like a Black Mirror type anthology show where each episode's a different story, and they do stuff like this with like Werewolf by Night. I think this is the kind of stuff they need to be doing to keep their um, to keep it fresh, because people are starting to get that superhero fatigue, and it's only going to get worse as we get more and more and more of these movies. You know, by phase 6, by the time we get the next two Avengers, hey, they're going to make bank, but I'm a little worried about how people are going to react uh, by the time we get there. That's a lot of superhero movies, and people are already fatigued now, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I want to see more of this horror realm. Like, this gives me hope for Ghost Rider. It gives me hope for those darker characters that they'll actually not shy away from the violence. So yeah, this was a great TV special. I hope they do more of it. I'm looking forward to the Guardians one, which they haven't said anything about the holiday special. Last I checked, it's supposed to come out in December. Maybe they kind of announced this release date out of nowhere. We had heard rumors they were making this, but they released the release date like a month ago. So maybe they're waiting a little closer for the Guardians holiday special. But this gives me hope for that too. Like, I can't wait. This was great, and I really liked it. So thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the Universal monster movies, those classic movies. Um, Happy Halloween, by the way. It is my favorite month of the year. Share this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm still growing. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video.